Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a session of strategy in Warzone. I did a few of these in the PUBG in the previous one, but I thought it's a long time ago, and I extremely love doing these. So why the hell not? Let's take a look at a game that we won, where we were playing extremely aggressive, and were not necessarily biting off more than we can chew, but sometimes it was getting a little bit close. But thanks to us being a good synergetic team and having the necessary skills in order to survive, we managed to go for the win. So let's go for strategy number 1. We decided to go, so this is the plane pad, and it goes all the way from farmland to airport. So as you naturally can assume, a lot of people will drop very close to the airplane. Like this. Most people don't like to go far, although in this game it's actually super easy. In PUBG, for example, going farther means going, it's a lot harder. But here with the parachuting, it makes it pretty easy. You can pretty much go from here to there and there with this plane pad. You can't, like, if the plane pad is all the way, like, say, up north here, then it will be hard to go all the way down here. But generally speaking, we can reach the whole map if we start in the center. So here we go, of course, for the military base. And there are a lot of contracts that are going on. And the question, of course, on everybody's mind is, which do we go for? As you can see, there are no recon contracts in this little area. The closest one that I can see is right over here. Or maybe this one. That's pretty far. Recons, of course, give you the main benefit of seeing into the future, seeing what zone it is. So, what is the best one? Well, it's most likely going to be this scavenger contract. And it's for a very simple reason. This one will guarantee, maybe this one too, but they will guarantee you one direction that you go into with the scavenger. If we take, for example, if we were to take this one over here. Oh wait, under the military here's a recon. But if we were to take this scavenger, we can go towards here, 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 we can go towards here. Early game, that's not ideal. Early game, you want to avoid that, because early game, you don't have enough resources to being armor plates and guns with a lot of firepower to handle all of this. You don't want to be fighting two different fronts at the same time. Never. But especially not early game, because you have way less to do so. So if you have this one, you most likely, it goes this, and then this or this. So it's a little bit unclear maybe, but generally speaking, those are the routes. Or you can go this route. So that's basically two guaranteed routes, which almost nobody in their right minds will push from military itself straight to these bunkers, these three, across the airstrip. Nope, almost nobody. So that gives you only one site that you have to worry about. But of course, that's a perfectly executed plan, and as you will soon notice, the plans don't always go according to how they should do. You know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Planning is super important, despite not being, having to follow a plan. So here we're simply discussing exactly where to go. And as you can see, we have marked trucks. In this game, we will be going straight with trucks early game. Trucks are a godsend. They are absolutely super good. Unfortunately, they added the PLI. I don't think that was here as ground loot. So the PLI is a big counter. The RPG, of course, too. But the RPG doesn't have an auto lock on. So early game people, this might not always work, but early game people will also always try to go for non-explosive weapons, unless they of course know there's a truck going on. But if they don't pay attention to the minimap, here we're of course looking exactly what's going on. The circle, the end circle, when you see a circle like this, you can almost be entirely sure, I would say like 55 to 85% of the time, the circle will be on the this side of the blue line. Almost always. And of course, as you can see, this is very open, little room to push. So that would mean we go a sniper, or at least something that has long range capabilities. A red dot would not be ideal. But what we usually do, here we're still flying, by the way. And so we zoom out. We were still flying, and then our mate, Zip, had a hunted, protected, a bounty contract on his arse. Now, when you get that one, when you're flying, that's almost a guaranteed, because if you get it while you're still in the air, then you can fly way further, and then the guys that took it, they can't do much about it. So, if I were to get a bounty contract, let's say, over, when I'm flying over here, when I was flying over these buildings, I can almost be guaranteed that the guys at the military won't get me. When I get to military, the guys won't come to military and get me. So that's a big advantage, and it's basically a free contract, which is in this case, I would say 6,000 cash for the whole team. So definitely not bad. Here, instead of seeing that I not make it, I instantly go for the vehicle over here, which is a very distant drop with a little bit of loot. Almost nobody will drop here straight. There is a buy station sometimes here, but decide to go for the MP7 and the shotgun. I'm not a Mauser fan, can't work with that gun. And here, as you can probably see, the our beloved hunted Zip is gonna be taking a bounty contract himself. Not entirely the smartest move, especially since we have a free scavenger contract up north. But bounty contracts in progress. The good thing is that this contract, since we are landed, it will most likely search somebody pretty close. And since we are far away off, we can almost be entirely sure that the people that we're gonna hunt are pretty close. Now, it could have ended differently, and we could, for example, have people that are, at quarry or at this or here. But I don't know exactly how the bounty contract calculates its next target. It has something to do definitely with proximity. So this one not necessarily, and this one also not necessarily. And as you can see, we are heavy going for the trucks. Here I have my truck, here I have my buddy Psycho has his truck. The trucks, like, great maneuverability, extreme health. There is almost nothing you can do except for explosives. And it's almost impossible to hit an RPG from here to there. It's very hard to hit. And the RPG is the best. I've had one time where I encountered a full squad of people running a Joker in this circle. This early in the game. They instantly went for the loadout buy. That was pretty hard when you're doing this play. But, that being said, we're running around those bounty contracts. Now, what do we do instead of going straight? Because if I decide, straight with the truck, that's not gonna help. Now, this is hard to see from this position, but here is one guy, and here are the others. And if you know something about how this stuff works, this is quite a distance. And what they're doing is it's actually pretty smart if they were paying attention. The guy with the bounty contract needs to go alone, so the enemy has false intel. Everybody will always assume that the whole team is on that bounty. But if one guy runs ahead or runs backwards, then the two other guys are pretty close. Like, they're way closer than the enemy team thinks they are, which surprises is always handy in warfare, and I don't know if you saw that, and it's also one of the reasons why holding your map height is pretty good. This is dangerous, if you're on foot at least. In a vehicle, not so much. But on foot, that's pretty dangerous. That's pretty dangerous, because especially since we are doing the truck place, what's gonna happen? Zoink, zoink. And either the last guy in the circle here at yellow will be able to take us out with some form of explosives, which they don't have, or they don't. And then we go in for the kill. And that's the beauty about having multiple trucks. It's not... People can counter it pretty easily though now. But as you can see, this guy here left that shot that was behind the tree doesn't have any explosive, or he would have used it by now, which is good. A full health truck, by the way, can tank an RPG shot, but be sure that you know where you're going. So here, perfect on the prowl, and you can't do nothing about it unless covered. So if he stands behind the tree, which he is doing, also it's very well hidden. How he traveled, love that. That's the best thing you can do. But sometimes even now you can hit him through the wall. He's shooting, will not have any effect, especially since because of the elevation. He is a little bit down, I'm a little bit up, and the truck is extremely hard to hit. You only can hit people through the windows. So here, guy turned around, good. And of course, instantly backwards because of the maneuverability of the trucks. As you can probably see, they are currently both focused on my truck. And if you pay a little bit closer attention, there is our good buddy, and he's coming in. So it's a double decker that we are pushing on the guy. If you don't have any explosives, a truck is a pain in the ass to deal with. 2 is almost guaranteed dead in an open field. Unless you have a building nearby, which they didn't, don't know why. So as you can see here, I'm driving backwards to make it, to push back on them. So they can't really do much. And also, this one guy, he's gone already, but he's sitting with rocks. Rocks are so annoying in this game. It's like, I feel for that guy if he was trying to climb up. So hop, boom, drive over, up, double drive over. Now this doesn't always happen, but in this case, because he was sitting below, it was one hit and then the bottom of the truck went him up. Now this guy is pretty safe, you might say. Well, what you will see in a second, or if you paid close attention to the minimap, zoink, boom. That's gonna happen. Always fun to see that going on. As you can see, I'm trying to push it a little bit up, and the buddy comes in, swoops in for the kill. Second down. Now we have one more left. There was one guy more in the here. So what happens now is that both of his buddies are in the gulag, and we are with 3 people and 2 trucks. Unless he has explosives, not gonna happen. And you have to keep in mind, a lot of people prefer snipers in this game. C4 is most likely the dangerous one. Since we don't expect any resistance anymore, or at least I do, instantly I go for the scavenger a little bit north. Now, I could have gone for this one in the corner that I mentioned earlier in the when we were dropping, but there's only one guy in military, almost 99% certain, so we can easily go here. Always take boxes unless it's like the very last circle, but if you still have a chance to buy, always go for this circle, because as you can see, it's a nice little 1500 bonus money that I just got. And here nothing happens interesting. I just take the truck and drive from point to point. It takes less than, okay, you know what, let's see exactly how long it takes. Also here is the, not dying means everybody gets a little bit extra money. Unfortunately, that's bounty. I don't know exactly how that works, but it's split in 3 apparently. So earlier about the 6k free was maybe a little bit too much. But here, truck. So we are 30 seconds in after looting, which is not a lot. Up. Wait, let me check it. Okay, so 30. 20 more. And 20 more. So that's 70 seconds in total for one quest. And as you can probably see, by doing that, that's another 3,600 each, plus 1,200 that it was inside the chest. So as you can see, we are rocking, you know, let's say 40k. Not bad. Here I take a bounty quest, simply because we're now gonna be buying up and making sure that all that money is going out. But he's already buying the loot out. As you can see, this is a well-oiled machine. This works mainly because we're so far away from the circle. If we were super close by the circle, then, or at least super where a lot of people drop, then this wouldn't work. Now I take a rocket class, and let's see the perks, because that actually is something that I discovered a little bit later. Okay. So, what exactly is going on over here? First of all, M4, that is decked for all-around purposes. Not too much, not too little. That this means that it won't beat everybody close range, but it will definitely be a viable option close range. Then of course we have the RPG, which is good for sniping people, good for aggressive plays, good for striking fear down in your enemies. Now the perks here are EOD for making sure that my own explosives don't backfire on me. Sometimes when you are going ham, especially with explosives and stuff, this is important that you protect yourself a little bit. And shrapnel, completely useless. I misinterpreted that one simply because with shrapnel you spawn with one extra piece of equipment, and you go delay healing with rockets. But since armor is basically, you know, if you don't have armor, you're as good as dead. Like, it doesn't have any useful application to multiplayer. So either spotter, tracker would have been good in this case. Spotter, I don't feel that that's that useful. And we of course have the extra piece of equipment that we spawn with, which is a little bit useless too. There we go. Now, thanks to the money, you can buy a self-revive, UAV, and a munition box for the team. Bada bing, bada boom. Ready and loaded. Now, as you can see, I don't have a lot of ammo, so in a sec I'm gonna have to put down that ammunition box. But I have enough for one fight. So instead of dropping it instantly, I'm going to fight with the boys. And as you can see here, our buddy is struggling a little bit with the trucking, which in this case might have been good, because then I can scout out the situation. And as we've seen at least 10 seconds earlier, there is somebody with a truck. Oh, that was the first moment I spotted him. Boom, he's jumped in the truck. At this moment. Now, that's the beauty about vehicles in this game, at least the driver. You can basically run around and have a third-person camera in a first-person game, which is immensely valuable. And then, of course, he parks back, bad move, instant switch to the rocket, and boom, disabled. Rockets work with splash damage, so the better you hit it, the better, more damage it does. But often if you hit your splash correctly, you will do enough damage to take out the vehicle. Here I miss my reload. Always important tip, if you want to make sure the reload goes through, make sure this thing, the zero is on 1 or whatever your clip size is, and then you can cancel the whatever animation is still playing. There we go. Then we of course the vehicle's disabled and I've hit him. Now I hit him actually. Now my buddy goes in wild with the truck again. They have to react. Most likely they are out with armor. He instantly jumps out and starts shooting with a guy that is up here at the buy station, so this general area. When you jump out the truck, that's instantly. Like, there's no way for an enemy to predict exactly when you will jump out of the truck, since you can jump out at full speed without any trouble. I throw a stun grenade his way in case somebody's close to him. And since I have restock, it automatically recharges, so I gotta use him. But that being said, if somebody was near him, they would get stunned and my buddy Psycho wouldn't be. And here of course we finally see that there is one more guy here at this side, and we are coming in like this, my buddy shooting like that, so that's gonna be a fantastic cover fire. Now of course there's one guy down, and as you probably, I didn't see this in game of course, but he's crawling down there. Now, so basically all they knew was they got hit by a rocket, they saw a truck on the minimap, and a truck slammed in here and started shooting a guy. So they don't know with how many we are, what we got. And here I of course use the third person to check on that side of the wall. Here I'm just frantically looking around, making sure every area is covered. And my buddy just finished him because I was trying to look this alleyway. So that's this side of the building, and the enemy was definitely somewhere around here. And of course my buddy, good shooting and a lot of pressure, because that's one of the things we have to keep in mind. One of the reasons this works so well is because the pressure on them is so high. We have one knocked guy down that's being finished at the moment. We have two trucks literally in their faces.
Kill confirmed.
We get a kill confirmed. Here is shooting. Oh, the guy was apparently pushed from the crosshair all the way to my buddy. And of course he has a very good weapon and very good shooting. En 4 is of course beast all around.
Ik snap het spelletje. Oké,
En 4 can do a lot.
money hè, money.
Yeah, I dropped my munition box from earlier. Gives you instantly all the rockets that you can dream for. Instantly pop a UAV to see what's going on in the circle. Being aware of your surroundings is so damn important. And oftentimes, not a full team will run Ghost. So if one of them doesn't run Ghost, it's almost useless. Because as long as you assume that a full squad is at one dot, yeah, then you're good. Here we see that there are people in, but the zone is coming in. There we go, a little bit back. It's a little bit hard without a decent map. But whatever we do, we have to keep in mind a truck it's maneuverable, but you have to, sometimes to turn you have to take a big angle. So basically, it turns this easy place into a one-way street. So the thing is basically, as soon as this zone hit, we can't use the trucks anymore inside of the complex, or at least we're very limited to like this spot right here. So we can drive around this circle, but being limited to a path with a truck is almost guaranteed for setting yourself up for explosives. And of course we marked here another truck simply because you need to be prepared, and that's one truck that often doesn't get taken. And what I mean with being prepared is we have to go get a new one, because every fight the truck gets damaged enough that basically one C4 or one rocket launcher will take him out. Also, if somebody is driving you over or trying to drive you over, a C4 will not down like a full health truck, it will disable it. Here is the bounty that we took earlier, by the way, that one that I took upside in the tower. What is so wonderful about this is that we just took it, didn't forget about it, and of course we got some money. Always handy. That's why the binding contracts might be super useful if you're planning to go across the map for a second. And boom! Here we have spotted our first guy who was distracted by the buy station. Now, one thing you want to make sure is, or at least try to make sure, is that when you're buying, you don't want to be like that 2 trucks are like inside you, or at least instantly next to you when you're out of buy. Now, what the people often do in this situation, and we might too, is instantly drive over. Nope, we do not. We go for the truck. We want to secure the extra truck, because even if they down 2 trucks, we have a third to get out and get going. And as you can see here, Psycho's truck is already at, basically Psycho's truck is 1 shot, 1 damage. So, also we got the loadout, super important. Although in this case it's only our loadout, but loadout is something people want, and if you can babysit the loadout, yeah, then it's an easy place to go. Just smack that loadout for shits and gigs. Yeah, of course, very careful, very mindful. Also, you need to be careful if you're gonna run this strategy yourself, and it's if a rocket was to say hit here, then these 2 trucks would be Audi. It's very important that you keep that in mind, extremely, when you're trying out this play, or this high IQ plays. Now, of course, it doesn't matter as long as people won't see it. Here's scouting time. We have 30 seconds to get in and get out, which is risky. Don't mind. They're scouting. So as you can see, like they despite being shot at, they kept driving to get in a better position. In this case, because one of the things, if you sit at a higher position, you can always use a truck as cover. Like, look at what I'm doing here, creating this wonderful cover piece. And of course, a truck is hard to ignore. 3 trucks even harder, but 2 in front of your nose makes the third one psychological go a little bit away. Because your mind is processing so many things, it can only process, let's say, 5 to 9 items, depending on how good you are and how knowledgeable you are in a given field. In this case, depending on how good you are or experienced you are with the, with the game itself, with the tactics and all that. If you encounter a play that you've seen 1,000 times before, you can take more of those than if you see a play that you don't have. So, I spray 1 down, or at least hit him hard enough. Then I pick him off again. And again, what do we have here? A crossfire. My buddy's shooting them here. I'm shooting them here. Like in 4, I think it's 600 microseconds to kill somebody, so that's 0.6 seconds. 2 of them, 0.3 if you aim right. Now, it's not always easy. And of course, my buddy is circling around this truck. It's all hard to see, unfortunately. I wish I could bring up the map. And of course, get back in the truck. My older buddy is using, it's also a great play in this game, using vehicles to get to places where you normally can't go. So, whoop, gives you a great vantage point. And of course, we go back. Oh. Stun. I know the general area that they were, and even on the minimap 2 of them are appearing. So that stun is basically to try to hit people that I don't see, and boom, that was a hit marker. Might be a little bit too fast. Spotted. Break, because else if you don't break, the Jeep is gonna run away. Stun. Now, it might be completely that I hit this down guy. Parkour over here, up, completely catched off guard. A little bit too hard of a push of me. I thought there was one a little bit further, but that doesn't excuse it. Wasn't the best push. As long as they didn't see me. Up, before he can even plate. He doesn't have self-revive apparently, but he was in cover. Or at least from a zip. Here, of course. Oh, skipped a little bit too far. Back in the truck. Zone's coming. My buddy gets down. We at this moment in time, we have 2 of them were finished, and 1 of them was naturally hiding in these little huts. He had self-revive, which was extremely important. So that was simply a hold and shooting that my buddy Psycho over here did to watch the door. Well, of course, Zip could self-revive. Super good play of the guys. Or at least trying to. I don't know if it calls. It's hard to see from my point of view. But Psycho, of course, even if it would be possible that Zip wasn't able to get back up, and then we would have been screwed, you know. Then we would have sat there. It's entirely possible. But in this case, he could get back up. He's plating. Ready for the getaway. Ready for the getaway. Time is of the essence. And making sure you know you don't have to. Oh shit! I forgot my teammate. That like this is accidental, but you know sometimes he falls out of the tracks, and I've noticed that myself. That if you don't go entirely in the middle, you can fall out for some reason. That being said, it doesn't matter at all. Luckily, we are at this point. We are working with a height elevation, so it's a little bit harder to see him. And here I'm standing still and using, of course, third person to check where the guy is. And of course, we have a UAV specially used for that. Might say it's a waste, but it's better to have a third teammate than an extra UAV. Or an extra teammate instead of an extra UAV. Up, boom, you saw that? By this point in time, I know the exact location almost of all the trucks, because we had to leave one here behind because of the hectic fight. That's boom, boom. Less than 2 seconds. We got a new truck, a new target to go to. As you can see, I don't know if you saw it, but in Quarry there were still 2 trucks. It seems that trucks don't get hit by the zone or something. Because I know helicopters explode in the zone. But hey. Here we go. Still driving. We have a lot of money and we need plates. So we are going, and of course, as you saw on the minimap over here and in the field, you know, it's the same fella. Here's a jeep. You gotta keep an eye out on the enemies. He's gonna be, I don't know if he was scared or he had other plans. But this, by the way, is also a very great station to buy in if you have a vehicle, and a very bad one if you have to run. Simply because here's the river, so foot traffic is scary. Here's an open field, foot traffic extremely scary. Again, open road, extremely scary for foot traffic. And of course here we also have a road, scary for foot traffic. If you are, you know, in the comfort of your own truck, it doesn't matter that much, because you can, you know, and in this case, of course, my teammate is prone, so that's pretty good cover. Not that much to be scared of. There we go. I don't need anything, as you can see, 5 plates. Hup. Quick drop cash on the run and instantly go for where the jeep originally came from, to make sure that we are not getting pushed in an open field. Because an open field push is the most dumbest thing ever, unless the enemy doesn't see you. If the enemy doesn't see you, it's the smartest thing ever. Or will not see you. And of course a chopper. Chopper, generally be mindful, but they are not always the smartest. So, a ping to make it easier. And then of course we buy another UAV. And of course, as predicted, we have to cross the river. It's almost always like, look at this circle. You know, this is the big river that splits it in 2. Which area of the circle do you think has more room to work with? In this case, this also counts as a side, you know. So all this yellow is a majority, and this pink is a minority. It's still possible that, you know, of course, it ends stadium. Although Stadium, I know at least now has been patched, so we can almost safely assume that this piece is pulled out. So that means that basically only this area has a small chance of spawning. Recon, if you know it, you can prevent it, but generally speaking, in this case, more chance, the more area. And in this case, more area was on the other side of the circle. And of course, pink truck as backup. This truck is a spawn, and this one is more in the open, and of course, it's more south down the map, so less fog. And this is also a spawn. And that's all of the trucks, because there is one here, and this one is not a spawn. This one is player driven. It's also very important that you know which one are spawns and which one are placed by players. If a player's in it, you won't see it on the map. If a player is out of it, you will see it on the map. Now we're just driving around to check what's going on. This jeep might come in handy. Always good to have a jeep or a truck on backhand, because the small tactical rover is pretty good. But the ATV, I mean, it's perfect if you need to go from point A to point B very quickly. And of course, here people were shooting from the helicopter. You know, we're driving, helicopter starting chase. This is one of those action movies. This is why I love this game so much. And of course, they're shooting. And of course, here are the boys. Up, boom, rocket launchers. Always scares them off. Always scares a chopper off. They could have jumped down, but then they would be open. And here, of course, we full spray. There you go, to get rid of them. Keep spraying, and as you probably noticed, it was made clear by a hit mark that I got. Boom. This is the hit marker. Hit markers, all these things, excuse me, those blood things are always directional. So if you don't know from where you're getting shot, this makes it easier. And of course, it was a little bit hard to see, but if you have a trained eye, you would have seen that that was a sniper glint. Reloading rocket launcher, and of course calling to the squad, let's get the fuck out of here. Boom, boom. And that's 3 trucks that were out of here. Boom, redeploy, was a little bit hard to see, but there will be, the redeploy in this case was in a highly distinct, in a very dense area. And if you're going for the truck place, avoid dense area. Like, playing aggressive doesn't mean you have to literally have to take every single fight and win it. It just means that you go pretty hard at what you're going for. So what do? We go literally to the open field and the open river, because there's nothing funnier than seeing people without explosive having to cross the river while being pushed by the gas, and you guys are here. Now sometimes they have explosives and you need to be prepared for that if you decide to go for display. You know, driving around. Also, you can do a UAV in the, what do you call it? So we know there was one on the west side across stadium. Here we're just taking a look around. And boom. Also, our friend Ziba's truck is black smoke, so that's not good. Here, boom. Gotta love those physics. If you know, standard physics, if you know, something with momentum crashes into something else, it loses momentum, and boom, it loses a little bit of momentum, jump out, instantly go for the boom. Now that rocket was actually not that good. That was actually not a good rocket. Far from it. But it was enough to seal the deal. Get it downed and disabled. And one of the reasons that helped was, and I don't know if you saw it, but sniper glints in this area, always be careful of the other side. Always be mindful of that. Just assume it. And if you see on the minimap, they have to push. Now they also have vehicles in this case, so I don't know if you can damage each other's vehicles. Here I got hit by the sniper that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if that sniper. Also, that guy's truck was grey, so one rocket and it was hit. Jump out, shoot rocket. I got a hit, but as you can probably see here, he jumped out and starts lasering me. And if you know already, I got hit by a sniper earlier. So that was two. That was one too many steps from me taken. And yeah, what do you think the result is? You probably guessed it. However, if this truck was turned around 180 degrees and I pressed F, I would have still been alive. Because what happens then is I teleport to the other side, which instantly puts me in cover. In this case, it wasn't what you call it. Now, luckily, you know, the truck life, if you don't have explosives, it's not a counter. Self-reviving. And always, keep in mind, self-revive will, like the revive bar, or progression bar, whatever you want to call it, this bar, it doesn't matter how far it is in, like even if it's here and there's like tiny bit left, as soon as your teammate comes in and presses F, you will keep your self-revive, which is extremely important. First of all, so that you don't waste your team's time if they come to get you, and second of all, that you keep your self-revive. That's an extra 4,500 that you get to keep. It's free money. And of course, instead of plating, I park the car a little bit, so that instantly when I jump in or out, the cover is away from the riverside. Here we're just calling out and checking the loot. The beauty about trucks is the armor, it's not like in gunfights that they waste a lot of armor. Again here, very mindful. I'm very mindful to make sure that this side has cover from this truck. You know, ping can't shoot at me as easily because the truck is in front of it. You can use your truck as cover. It's super important. Cover is so important in this game. And of course, ping UAV, and I instantly ping the open, the one that's in an open field. As you can probably hear, my buddy on the background, he has a blast. Oh, skipped a little bit too ahead. So I UAV and then put your marker where the guys are on the map, especially in the later circle. If there's like 4 teams left and you do a UAV and you see the other 3 teams, just each of you put a marker on the team and then you can work with that, because the UAV of course is like ping. And of course I here see him, and as you probably have guessed it, that I mentioned many times before today, boom, super hard to see. Oh, the bush was in front of it. Oh wow, wow. That was good. That was good for that guy. So the bush was in front of it, and of course by the time I see it, C4. I have no clue where exactly it hit, but as you can see, he was quick. He countered it. My truck was not enough HP to survive this or to disable. And of course, boom, bada bing, bada boom, blow up, jump out. Oh, being jumped out. Now, here he has a choice. Either he finishes me, choice 1, or he shoots my buddy that's here. Well, if he wants to live, he doesn't shoot me, because my buddy is going straight for him, straight at him. And what he does, he decides, he sees the truck coming, and of course he starts shooting it, tries to survive, no cover, just wasted the C4. He could try to do another C4. At the moment I'm self-resing. Boom. And of course his buddy's here, doesn't have C4, and this is of course another double decker. My buddy is going here, and I am shooting him here. It's perfect crossfire. Either he deals with the truck and he dies, and he gets shot by me, or he doesn't deal with the truck and shoots me, and the truck drives him over. But either way, this is such good synergy of me and my buddy. Boom. And that's team wipe. Easy. Of course, always expect to be shot from the river, and you probably saw it on the UAV earlier. Like, this is dangerous because you're fighting in the open. And boom, got hit from the other side. Always juke, like move left, right. I move back here a little bit, go for the jeep, because vehicles are perfect cover. And as you can, my buddies are using them as cover. Like, it's drivable cover, deployable shield. That's this plus. They can shoot under it though, so you have to be mindful of that. And you have to have some HP to do it. Here, my buddy is running in the open. Of course, just drive him over or make sure that he can hit it. One of the wonderful things about this game is that you don't have to worry about exactly jumping into, a driving vehicle without problem. If you do this in PUBG, you would have been knocked. It's not PUBG, however. Okay, zone time. And of course, I'm Mark. Oh, well, not zone time, apparently. We go ham, ham, ham. Here, hup. They're fighting each other. I want to RPG that, but it's not worth it. Boom, boom, boom. And of course my buddy, bam, sniper shot. Now, the zone, 10 seconds and it kills you. 5 seconds you need to revive. His buddy was here, down, and there. So, I would say it takes at least another 20 seconds before they are both up and running again. So, and of course my teammates in the zone, which is dangerous. Here, of course, I apply some extra pressure, and buddy finishes it. So, was that necessarily? Not really. But, sometimes it's better to thirst. Although I don't like it that this game, basically pushes you, or at least is like, come on, thirst the guy. Because it's beneficial, in PUBG or something, it's often a case of greed rather than a smart play. But in this game, it's a harder thing to tell with all those self-revives. And of course, this guy running in the open, over this thing you can drive over with a jeep, that junk thingy, so maybe my buddy gets it, maybe not, but we can't risk it. Oof, he's either way happy. And of course we get shot from the back by that second guy, the teammate from the guy that we just killed. It was a cheeky kill. Here's the lumber. You can jump over these things, super fun, but if you're stuck in the middle, you're stuck in the middle. And of course we park the jeep there, close, up. Now the trucks are getting very damaged. Here, of course, the most important thing is holding the edges here, this side. Where we are, basically it's like a wall like this. So, as long as we make sure like that nobody comes around through the holes in the wall, we're Gucci. Of course, watching, being able to, sniper glint. Don't know if you saw that, but jump over. Watch. Also, I made sure that was over because more possibly guys in port. For some reason, port is a weird place. I think a lot of people love camping there. Up, sniper glint. It's hard to pause on this thing, but there was the sniper glint. And of course, my buddy is still trucking. The beautiful thing about a truck is it draws a lot of attention, and a lot of people can't hesitate to shoot at it. Hoof. Keeps running out. Up. There we go. Shoot. Boom. Double tagged. 1 HDR bullet and a full M4 spray. It's less than a second. And of course, one of those tunnels, or like, between the logs, there was a guy. And boom! Threw a stun grenade and bounced right off of the logs. That was a game-losing play, especially with that HP. I shouldn't have peeked, but I knew they were inside the logs. And my buddy, of course, here has noticed that I am very low. I go back into cover, and of course the C4 finishes me. If it didn't have C4, it would have been a different story. And of course, now, those two are basically behind it. And he's gonna finish me. Thirsty, that's most likely the sniper glint we saw earlier and the buddy of the guy that we downed here. So he was most likely here, he pushed towards here and tried to flank us. Now, the unfortunate thing for him is because of his tunnel vision, he will get me closely. But, as you can see, like he's completely stuck. Because Zip basically, has to spray in a very close quarters. So instantly the gulag, that was super useful. If I had to wait 1 minute and a half, that would have been a different story. You want to have your gulags as soon as possible. Scouting. The gulags are kind of hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes it's easy peasy. But in this case, it was completely... I'm trying to push to make sure it goes well. I don't know where the hell that guy is, so instantly just go for the secure. I hear him. Try to up. Boom. That was very hard to see, but... basically what one was that I was capping it for long. I'm capping. The guy comes in, so it's contested, but his thing started, but his thing has to start all the way in the back. My thing was already started, so move out. It's very dangerous. I get 10 HP, he jumps out, and I stay long enough in to get the win. It's a very messy fight. Never recommend that you do something, that you keep it that close. But luckily enough, it was all I need, because the guys weren't able to buy me back. Get back all the gear, or at least as much gear as I can. RPG has served its purpose. Taking this guy's sniper.
Oh, hier is een drop trainer in de zone.
There's a guy. Woof! Somebody shot through me. My buddy called out that there was a guy coming in. No, actually, I was so focused on getting my shit back that there was not a lot of things I could do. But he hit the guy through me. Headshot. Then, of course, this is messy. My buddy jumps in. I'm the designated driver in this for this guy. So basically, I have to drive the stuff. But in this game, sometimes switching is a little bit hard because you can't say I want to switch to that seat. Getting shot from this building. This building in port, I'm gonna say it like almost always there's people there. Now what I try to do here is basically drive the vehicle outside like that. Not the best move, and sometimes it works with the vehicle mechanics, but in this case, nope, stuck. Which is dangerous because, of course, in this case, the helicopter is there as well. So we should have seen that coming, but of course we were focused on getting back the zone and getting back gear, and the drop guy, oof, shoot. Africa, this is such a messy. But the handy thing about messy fights is if you move a lot, it's hard to get hit a lot. Here the Jeep is at critical damage, so we have to bail. This truck is fucking perfect. It's in the zone. It has what do you call it? It has perfect cover because they can't shoot like a rocket here and we get hit. The only way that we can get hit if we're like inside of the truck, like inside, is the side that nobody's watching. Here I call jump out. I mean, I hoped he noted that himself, but I don't think you can see vehicle HP. Yeah, no. So I probably should have called this better. Here, this again, like sometimes you're pushing your luck, and in this case we were pushing our luck. This could have ended very differently. He could have, got knocked, or worst case, be out. The gulag was closed. The gulag is already closed. At the 5th circle, the gulag is no longer here. So, dangerous move. Now, if he was actually, knocked here in front of the truck, then we would have easily gotten him back, of course. And, of course, low HP, plating back. Here, we're, of course, in a finicky situation, because what is happening? Well, here there's definitely people. Here there's also people that are basically watching our truck, so we can't get out. My buddy, Psycho, jumped out way earlier, and of course he jumped out around here, and he used that opportunity to get here, to get back to us. This place has like the green, what do you call it? The blinding, so it's pretty hard to see. So basically all he has to do is get in the truck with us. As a team, you want to stick together. And of course, the plate economy, because we were pushing our luck so much, is now completely ruined. And as you can see, he's still pretty happy. This, I didn't notice at the time, but it's absolute genius play. my buddy is placing claymores on either side of the truck. So what would happen if somebody were to push us and we wouldn't be able to see it, like, you know, like around, then they would instantly get hit by a claymore in their face, because, you know, it's a round gun aim. And if a Zip would stay behind the truck, he wouldn't get hit. But me and Psycho, we can easily, literally stand on top of the claymore without getting hit, because friendly fire is not a thing in this game. Now, we're in a finicky situation, because basically this is like cover, this is like industry, but this, the yellow area is all open field, So can't get stuck. And of course we got hit from this direction. So what that means basically is that we get a crossfire or from the helicopter and from here. So basically the only place we are safe is inside the truck. Bad call. Now the guys in the open field will get shot eventually. It's a matter of time. There's 8 teams left. That's a lot in this circle. Then of course, as soon as the next circle hits, you know, you see the next circle hit, so you hold open the map instantly. You know, just switched. You check it out and you place a marker of where to go. In this case, this is a elevation. All of this is open field. So whatever the hell that needs to happen, or, you know, we need to go this way, no matter what. If you are confident enough that you can fight, basically stand in the open and shoot everybody inside, you're either a hacker or you're a god, one of the two. But yellow area is off limits, because we can't go and it's not viable. Because that's the thing you have to keep in mind. That city area is perfectly fine, but if you know, I can't zoom in really, but like, this is all road. The end circle is a road, unless you have maybe like a roadblock, which I think there's like 1 or 2 roadblocks like in this yellow line. Like, unless you have those, it's impossible to win. It's impossible to sit behind those and not get shredded. So the blue one has to go. We have to go. We have to get around blue. Now we don't have to go that wide as the first one, but whatever happens, we need to be on this area of the circle, no matter what, because height is advantage. The higher your position, the better. So we still have, of course, the crossfire looking at us. How do we do this? How do we fix this with a crossfire looking at us from both sides? So we, you know, jiggle peek to see the crossfire. We have 38 seconds left. And of course, the guys on the roof are still holding. Just an armor crack, quick peek. This is actually pretty genius. You can remember it if you play with a riot shield. Riot shield's pretty broken. Not necessarily broken, but they aren't like a troll pick as you would imagine. But, you know, he's basically prone to looking at us. Very cocky of him. Armor cracked, he's got lucky. And look. I'm gonna hit him here, but that's basically on his riot shield. I'll try to color over the exact body that he has. That's his body. And I basically shot next to that because of the riot shield. I'm not a fan of thermals. Thermals, especially with everybody running cold blood, they're definitely not worth it. I could have hit him if I knew that. And then, of course, I see this as an opening. I try to go, you know, across as the route that I showed earlier to avoid the yellow area. And of course, I get shot. The vehicle is as cover. Have to go back, get some shots some more. 2 sides. The guys were kind of blocking me in the truck, so I had to go, had to keep moving, and had to keep like this there. You know, go basically from one truck to another, because this truck in front of me should be safe from the crossfire setup, because here we have a nice elevation.
It's good. It's mooi good.
and my buddy gets downed after peeking with the HDR. So what do? Return fire. Now, here is the game-winning play. This is the point that turns it around. This is the moment that we go from being absolutely pushed our luck at the very end to we go to we take back what is ours. No, we take back what we want, not what is ours. This guy is aiming at my buddies. I am one trick further. Boom! Downed. Headshot. Instant repeat thanks to the mirror, whatever the fuck, this thing. I could see exactly where he would drop out and instantly repeat to bam! Headshot. This is the game. This is the play that made the game. One down, his buddy went over, and the other guy is most likely sitting in that hut. There always is one sitting in that hut because it's basically the biggest cover in the game. Now, opening. So the guy is picking up his buddy's loot, armor plates or something probably, and the other guy is in the hut. Now, the hut guy could still shoot me. Instantly slide. He's shooting. Teammate revived. He's healing. Okay, my two friends are in the zone. Very close. Very close, as you can see here. And Zip is messing up his controls, or he's doing something that's not right. But both me and Psycho first and then me, are shooting the guys in that hut that are inside the zone. They have to push our side, and I break an armor, even better. They have to push our side, or they're out. Or they're completely out. In the zone, take 2 hits of the gas mask, or 1 hit, even better. And they can't do shit. They had to heal, and they had to run from the zone. So, you know, we had them. That down gave us the opportunity for me to move, and then it gave the opportunity for Psycho to shoot the other guy, which made them panic. And of course, here is the guys from the crossfire of earlier. I'm pretty sure these buildings can like see that truck over here. That's where we were standing, and that's most likely where we got shot from the crossfire earlier. That would make a lot of sense. There is a jeep there, and of course there is a truck there. Here we push, and of course we have to keep in mind that by pushing, the guys to the right are still alive. You know, it's not that we put on pressure and that they all of a sudden die. We have no confirmation. Generally speaking, if we stay on one side of the black line, then we will of course have complete cover. Because other than that, this area, the in between the yellow is like, you know, you basically have like a rock, a bush, and a few trees. That's all there is. So we have to get across to the black line in order to get the more advantage rotation inside the circle. Here I'm holding, checking if they were... Here you can probably see this nice little elevation. Psycho is using it beautiful. Pretty hard to hit back, especially with the bushes and stuff. Now most likely there's 6 teams left, so... here on the minimap we can see that there's one red dot, so that means when somebody is shooting there. So my guess is the roof guys that we saw earlier are fighting these guys. And these guys are fighting guys that are here. And then of course we come in and we, or at least my two buddies, are shooting these guys. So these guys will be deleted pretty quickly. And then, of course, the other guys have to rotate with us into the zone. But what we will do is cut them off. So they have to push the zone and they have to push into us. So either they shoot us or they run from the zone. But either way, they lose. This guy in the zone, in the open, GG, long shot. I mean, 3 guys shooting at 2 guys in the open. That's a GG. That's a game over.
Even down, team wipe, nice.
Team wipe, easy. Oh! That was another sniper glint. Not always easy to spot in game. Most likely I didn't have spotted them in the game. But what I did spot is this guy on the minimap. So, that being said, we keep going. We use the elevation to our advantage. Now these guys most likely still have to fight. Now it's hard push. If we don't push and we keep, these guys will mess us up. So we have to finish the guys and get to the green marker, the blue road that we of course have described earlier. We have to get in here. This area has to be ours. no matter what. And the only way for the pinkies to get in is from this side. That is map knowledge. That's basically knowing the map, or unless they can jump rocks. Yep, we jump over. We know there's one there. Throwing random semtexes. Hit the down guy. Perfect. See him crawling down. If one more thing, keep in mind, the direction somebody is looking at often displays the intention somebody is having. So he's moving there. So most likely, I'm still checking, but that's a lesson for myself too. His buddy's over there because we knocked him without him seeing us. So his intentions are to get revived by his friend, who is of course there. And of course, boom. Up. And then of course we get shot from this guy up here. I get shot from this guy up here. Now I'm already out of armor from that, so I need to be very careful. So what do? I hide in the bush. Not because the bushes are immune for bullets, but yeah, to make sure it is. Then of course both Zip and Psycho are shooting at him from two sides, and of course, you know, half a second and he's deleted.
Nice, boys.
And of course, boom! There was still one hiding in the zone. In this game, you have to be really careful that somebody is not hiding in the zone, because that gas mask gives you like 12 to 15 seconds in the zone without even taking damage, and that's a lot. Instantly get hit from behind, and also in case you, I don't know, it's very, not visible, but here we go. This black line is cover. Unless we go over the black line, we're still in cover. So, there we go. I got knocked from the guy north. They're scrambling to see where he is. And of course, they're in a fight. The Zip could have gone down easily. But thanks to, let's put it this way, he would have gone down earlier, with me, if Psycho didn't finish him. Quick revive. Still have some time left. Get some gear. Although we don't really need it. And then of course I go for the zone play for two reasons. We now know this circle, of course, which we didn't know before. This blue area should be ours completely. This is what we aim for. This blue area needs to be ours, with the simple reason we have complete, basically, like, where else can they hide if we have all of that? So I am very low, so I'm gonna use myself as bait and move around this area. These two are gonna move like this to that, and what we then create is basically we see everything in the blue zone, and what we then create is everything here. So we know that every single person that we still have to kill is out there. 3 people left, 3 teams left, 6 people. So that means that we have a 2 and we have a 1 that we still have to fight. But that blue area, that's the key to victory. And of course here I check for armor plates, because even if there was an armor plate over here, I would have easily been able to get it without getting tanked to the zone. Just because I'm bait doesn't mean I have to die. And so here of course, basically now we have a crossfire set up. They watch this, I watch this. So it will be hard for the enemy team to see that coming. Now I push a little bit closer to them to check it out, because of course, as you probably seen, here's the height elevation. Up, boom. That's how they get up here. Unless they can climb on rocks, which I don't think they can. And we check it out. Here I go towards this rock, because you always need to have cover. Always be in position, always have cover. Prone down. And they basically wait for them to clear the area. And of course, they make a good habit by checking out the area. Always make sure you clear out the area, because last thing you want to do is miss a guy that's camping over here and shooting you in the back. That's the last. It's one of the most horrible feelings. Here, for some reason, I see a down guy. Don't know why I saw him earlier. Probably because of the gas. One good thing why you need to also clear out these places in this game, like in the flanks in this game when the circle is pushing in, because the outer edges of the circle you can like if you have a good color skin you can really hide in there, because the gas blocks vision to those standing close to it. That's why the gas is your friend. You know, all this gas running around.
Is daar best iets? Hoe jij werkt?
Boom! Instantly aim. Saw nothing inside. Oh! Instantly the other guy popped up, and that guy. It's hard to see on the circle, but basically, he has to push out of those concrete blocks. These things. I don't know exactly what you call them. He has to push out into an open field, which now I am basically holding, and I think Zip is seeing 2 from that side. So that's 2 sides, and the zone that he has to fight. Quick reload. Just this is. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to kill him. You just have to put pressure on him. So much pressure that he will die on his own. Up. He's moved out with a sniper rifle. Couldn't do nothing, because even if he were to shoot the sniper rifle, I would have what do you call it? The flinch of the bullets of me would be too high. Now we come a little bit closer. They cleared out their side. Now they don't know where he at, and he's not in the open field. There's only one logical explanation, but in hindsight, that's of course way easier to see than there. So what do? I set myself up here next to the ATV for use as cover. Vehicles or cover. Here my buddy calls out that I have to be careful because I'm alone, and I'm saying basically don't give a shit. Because if he downs me, they should be able to clear it up. And these bushes, as you can see, that's the only logical explanation. So now we just wait and see. Yeah, we call it that he's in a bush. Pre-fire the bush a little bit. Moving out. Now I lose cover of the ATV, and he basically heard the shots of my buddies. He's looking. So you know, wait. Let me do this properly. You know, he is sitting here at yellow, and he heard my friend shooting. So he's aiming at that, and here's where I come in, aiming at him. That's why a crossfire is so damn powerful. Always remember, in a battle royale game, a fair fight is a bad fight. If you are playing fair, as in one-on-one perfectly, everybody has the same resources, like in the Gulag, that's bad. In a battle, like every fight needs to be as unfair as possible in your advantage. Always. And boom, instantly, to you know, snap on the head and bada bing, bada boom. Victory Royale. So, it's an incredible in-depth. This is the final score of the boys, and as you can probably see, I've definitely put some weight here. 3k damage. Most of these kills, by the way, despite us playing extremely aggressive, in my case at least, Psycho definitely has some drive overfill kills. One thing to keep in mind is a vehicle, killing people with a vehicle does no damage. So that's why his damage is so low, and he definitely killed somebody with a what do you call it? And of course, Ziba, absolute wonderful support given. And look at these scores, dude. How you can't ask for more perfect than this. These kills too, dude. Like it's the teamwork makes the dream work, you know. But that being said, like that's basically how we played. Perfect synergy, perfect crossfire, unfair fights as possible. We pushed our luck a lot, but we managed, you know, to basically fix ourselves and like, oh, okay, now we gotta be serious. Now we gotta stop. Now we gotta avoid that fight. Now we gotta, you know, know when to push and know when to back off. Super incredibly important, especially in this game, because you get punished a whole super hard time. So, whew, that was a serious breakdown. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you learned something. I really hope that I didn't stumble upon my words, although I don't think that's the case. I hope you learned something new. I hope you will get a victory royale with some of these tips, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.